Hello brothers and sisters, welcome to your 21st tutorial on HTML and CSS. In the previous tutorial, you learned HTML and CSS comments. In this tutorial, you will learn CSS background properties. So let's get started. Okay guys, the CSS background properties are used to define the background effects for elements. In this tutorial, you will learn more background properties. Alright, I created this document here. I saved it as CSS background. I put this H1 here, this paragraph, this ordered list here. Let me change it to be an ordered list. First, we will start by giving our HTML document a background color. You can see now the background is white, right? Previously, you learned how to add a background color. So now I will use the same procedure that we used to change the background color. You can see now the background is white. I will change it to gray. So to do that, I will say body, right? The entire body of our HTML document. And then I will put my curly braces. Now I will say background color. Right now I will specify my background. So I will say E3, E3, E3. So this one will be a gray background. Save it. Let me refresh my page. Yeah, you can see now our document is in gray background. All right. That's one. Now you know how to add a background. All right. What if we want the background to be an image? So the easy way to do that is you download your image from Google or anywhere, or if you have an image already. So I created this one on Photoshop, this image here. This one I downloaded it on Google Photos. Alright, so I will demonstrate using this one. So in the body I will say background dash image. Alright. And then I will say URL, the URL of my image. Okay? You can either put double quote, single quote, or leave it the way it is. All of them will show the background image. So I will say double quote. Now the name of my image is background.png. Background.png. Let me save it. Okay, let me refresh my page. Okay, now you can see the image as displayed here. And have you noticed that the image has been repeated both horizontally and vertically? You can see now, right? The image has been repeated so many times. That's how you can add a background image to your HTML document. All right? So now I will show you another property. These are two properties now. The other property is background repeat. Okay. This background repeat, it lets you control how you want the background image to be displayed. You can either say, I want this background to be repeated, or it will not be repeated. Right now, by default, the background image has been repeated. So let's say no repeat. Right? Save it. Let me refresh. You can see the image has not been repeated. Okay? What if I want it to be repeated? Okay, I will remove this no and leave the repeat. Let me save it. It will repeat on both directions, horizontally and vertically. You can see now. Okay, what if I want it to be repeated horizontally only? So to do that, I will say repeat and then X, right? Which is axis. Save it. Refresh. You can see the background has been repeated horizontally. Okay, Alright, what if I want it to be repeated vertically? Let me do that. I will just remove this X and then replace it with Y. That is Y-axis. Save it, refresh. You can see the image has been repeated vertically. Okay? Alright. Now, the other property that I would like to show you is background position. Alright? The position of our background image. Okay, now let me change this image to another image. In my images folder, I will say cartoon. The name is cartoon.png. It is here. Let me show you. It's here. I downloaded this on Google. Alright, let me save it. Refresh. Yeah. Okay. I think it would be better if I increase the font size of my paragraph and list. So let me say P, comma, and then Li. Let me increase the font size. You should be knowing this by now because we learned all this. Let me say 30 pixels. Right, and the color, I want the color to be, let me say purple. The color is DE00D4. Let me save it. Okay. Okay, now I will position my image. I will say background dash position. Okay. I want my image to be displayed on the right top, right here. So I will say right top. That's where I want my image to be displayed. Refresh. You can see my image is on the right top. Alright. The same thing if you want it to be on the top left here where it was before. You just say left top. You can see it has come back here. You can also center your image by saying center. Alright. This one will center the image. You can see now the image is in the center. Okay, there are so many values for this. You can say bottom, right, left, bottom, and all that. Right now you know how to position your image. I will put it back to top right. Here is my image. Alright. Okay, now what about background attachment? Now you know background color, right? Background image, you know how to add an image. Background repeat. And then you have learned background position. Now the last one is background attachment. Alright? Background attachment specifies whether the background image should scroll or be fixed. Alright? Let me add more of this so that we see how it scrolls. Okay? I will copy and paste this one so many times. I think this is enough. Okay? Yeah. Now you can see the image scrolls together with our page, right? There are two values here, either fixed or scroll. So now I will say background attachment, okay? And then I will say scroll. I told you you can either put scroll or fixed. So let's start with scroll. Let me save it, refresh my page. Right, you can see it scrolls together with the page. What if we put fixed? Right, now I will say fixed. Let me save it, refresh my page. Let me scroll. You can see the image does not scroll with the page. It is in fixed position. Right? The last thing that I will show you is to shorten all this. You know, this one is long, so there's a way to shorten it. That one is called shorthand. property. Okay, so the shorthand property helps in shortening this bunch of code. Okay, let me show you how. Instead of saying background dash color, background dash image, background dash repeat, background position, background attachment, you just say background. Okay, so let me delete all this. You just say background like it is now. And then now let me specify the color, the background color with this one. First of all, let me save and refresh my page. You can see now everything has gone back to how it was before we put the background properties. Okay, now I will say background color. I say the color is E3, 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 right? And then the background image. Now I will say URL. Okay, I will specify the location of my image, and that is images, and then the image is called cartoon.png. Okay, and now we will put the background repeat, whether it will be repeated or not. Now I will say I don't want it to be repeated. I will say no repeat. Okay, and then the background position, right? Now I want it to be on the right top. Okay, I will say right top, right? And then I want it to be fixed. I want my background to be fixed. I will say fixed. Okay, let me save it. I refresh my page. You can see now our background has changed from white to gray, and the image is here. Let me scroll. You can see the image now is fixed. Before we had so many lines here, but now we only have a single line of code to do all this. Okay guys, I hope you have learned something. In the next tutorial, I will teach you CSS borders. So I will see you there.